First, I'd like to talk a little bit more about my journey to music therapy, and be brutally honest about it a bit. And then I want to talk about my future goals as well. So number one, my journey to music therapy. So this was not easy for me to go to. This is something I've wanted to do for a long time, but in my family and in our culture, I guess, therapy is something for weak people. So even just to consider mental health and things like that was considered very wishy-washy, and that's not a real career. So even thinking about telling my family that was not really an option as an undergraduate. And then I went to therapy as a grown-up, and it works. So I have finally gotten to the place where I've been able to approach that in myself. That, hey, this is something I really want to do, and it's real, and it's beneficial, and it works. Teaching has been hard. The things that I can't control that hurt. Falling asleep at night and worrying about certain students if they were going to be okay. Not so much in the school I work in now in New Jersey, but when I worked in Title I schools, absolutely. So going through all that, I've really had to consider what I value and reframe how I viewed my job many times. And last year, I began a job in Newark when I moved here, and found that in so many ways that this school did not allow me to live through my values, and I found it unconscionable for me to stay. So I left, and I took some time off. That was one of the scariest things I've ever done, because I didn't have a job. I left. And I started working at Radio City as a tour guide, and I worked at Anthropology and Rockefeller Center, and just barely got by. But I knew that I wanted to be here, and I would just need to start over. So I thought I was done with education. I took some time to really think about it and what I wanted. And I missed it. I missed the kids. And so I got to go back this year. And currently where I am is wonderful. But I still feel that misalignment with myself internally. As much as I enjoy it and I could see myself having a happy life doing that, I have found that music therapy is really what I want to do. So really going through that journey, I've had to get over some barriers of attitudes towards it. I have had to examine myself and my own values, and I even had to take a break from my career to find out who I really am. One dream that I've had since I was 18 years old was to create a choral space. Now I have the language for it, but a trauma-informed choral space for survivors of domestic abuse, particularly women. And if possible, I'd also like to have a children's choir that uses therapeutic tactics to develop a singing space for this kind of trauma. So I am very interested in academia. I love to write, so I absolutely would love to be published, and be involved in writing and teaching and advocating for music therapy. I am interested in teaching orchestral work levels. I know some music therapists actually still do that. So I am interested in possibly being a teacher educator or a therapist educator eventually one day, in addition to my main work with clients. I'm passionate about mental health and education as well. So something I'm interested in doing is revamping how mental health is approached with the young. Personally struggling with mental health issues as a teenager, I think people are very lacking, and educators are very lacking in this. So I think this is something I could approach with music therapy, is what educators should know about their students who are struggling with suicide. I would really like to be involved in that as well.